The second half of the season is here, and the Falcons, who finished the first half 3-5, are looking for some revenge here today as they play host to the 5-3 New Orleans Saints, who won 23-20 in their first meeting back in Week 6. Atlanta goes 3-and-out to start the game, and on the Saints' first play, it's Jacoby Brissett looking to throw, standing in behind great protection and finding a wide-open Michael Thomas for 25 yards into Falcons territory. 4 plays later, 3rd and 2, Brissett throwing again, and this time it's Jared Cook for 9 yards to make it 1st and goal. Then on 3rd and goal from the 2, Brissett throwing again and finds Austin Seferian-Jenkins in the back of the end zone, and the Saints turn their opening drive into points as they take a 7-0 lead. Later in the first, Falcons right at midfield, and Matt Ryan is throwing, drifting to his left, and hits Austin Traylor for a 21-yard gain. 2 plays later, and the chains are moving again as Ito Smith turns 2nd and 3 into 1st and 10 with 7 yards on the ground. 3 plays later, this time 3rd and 9, Ryan looking to throw and goes short to Ito Smith, who's brought down shy of the marker by former Falcon Devondre Campbell. Roland Ford comes on, and his kick was built Ford tough, which makes absolutely no sense at all, but it's up and good from 26 yards to make it 7-3. Second quarter now, Saints pin deep, but that lasts all of 1 play as Brissett play fake, stands in and fires downfield where Isaiah Oliver doesn't do anything, and Michael Thomas has a 29-yard catch. Then 2 plays later, Brissett throwing again, and it's on to Atlanta's side of the field as he finds a wide open Jared Cook for 21 more. Next play, and the Saints continue to move as Alvin Kamara picks up 11 more and another 1st down. 3 plays later, 3rd and 9, and Brissett goes quick to Kamara, who turns upfield, spins away from Deion Jones before being swarmed by the rest of the Falcon defense. Saints decide not to go for it on 4th and 1, and Will Lutz is sent out to take the pitch and look to throw where Kendall Sheffield drags him to the turf, and the Saints come away with nothing. 4 plays later, and the Falcons are on the move as Ryan fakes and fires to Mohamed Sanu for 20 yards into Saints territory. Next play, Ryan again with the fake and doesn't even have a chance as Sheldon Rankins destroys him for the sack. Then on the next play, the Falcons get it all back and more as Ryan hits Austin Hooper down the seam for 18 yards and a 1st down. After another 1st down, Ryan throwing again, and this time it's Cam Jordan in to drop him for the sack. But once again, on the very next play, Atlanta gets it all back and more as they set up 1st and goal after an Austin Hooper 16-yard catch. And on the very next play, it's Ito Smith off the left side, and goodbye, Kayvon Webster. You can catch Ito Smith in the end zone where he just scored a 4-yard touchdown to put Atlanta out in front with a 10-7 lead. Just before half now, clock ticking down, and on 2nd and 15, Ryan fires out to Austin Hooper, who has the 1st down and more as Devondre Campbell misses the tackle, and Hooper has 31 yards near midfield. 3 plays later, and with a chance at points, Ryan is throwing and hits Julio Jones over the middle for 20 yards and into field goal range. Falcons use a timeout, and on the next play, Ryan is throwing again and drops a dime into Mohamed Sanu, who falls out of bounds, but the rules. The clock keeps rolling and ticks all the way down to 12 seconds before the Falcons call timeout. And on the next play, Ryan throwing again, but Cameron Jordan is in for his 3rd sack of the half, and the Falcons, with only 1 timeout because of the clock gaff, let it run down. Roland Ford comes on and sends the Falcons into the break with a 13-7 lead. Saints get it to start the 3rd, and on their 2nd play, Brissett throws to a wide open Kamara for a 24-yard gain across midfield. 3 plays later, 3rd and 7, and the Saints drive stays alive as Brissett finds Jared Cook for the 1st down. Saints facing 3rd down again and keep the chains moving as Brissett hits Michael Thomas for 12 yards just outside the 20. Then 3 plays later, with another chance at a stop, the Falcons finally get it as Brissett goes short to Michael Thomas for just a 3-yard gain. Will Lutz is sent out, and no fake this time as the 39-yard field goes up and good, cutting the Falcons' lead to 3. Later in the 3rd, still 13-10, but Atlanta is on the move as Ryan stands in and delivers a strike to Julio Jones for 22 yards on a 1st down. But 2 plays later, Ryan throwing again, and it's Cameron Jordan for a 4th time today to take him down for a sack. So that makes it 3rd and 19, where Ryan looks to throw, drifts back, and wants Calvin Ridley, who makes the catch and has 23 yards and the 1st down. So with new life now, and on the next play, it's a screen out to Ridley. He picks up a block and says sayonara Marcus Williams and has another 26 yards. And on the first play of the 4th quarter, Ryan with the play fake and makes a terrible decision precision, but the Saints defense does their best Isaiah Oliver impression, and the 15-yard catch gives Atlanta 1st and goal, which leads to the very next play where Brian Hill takes the give off the left side and carries Marcus Williams into the end zone for a 2-yard score, and with just over 14 minutes to go, the Falcons extend their lead to 10. Saints looking to answer, and they avoid going 3 and out as Brissett hits Jared Cook over the middle for 13 yards. Next play, and it's into Atlanta territory as Brissett moves to his right, stands in, and just gets his pass away to Michael Thomas for 17 more. 2 plays later, Brissett with the play fake and looking to throw again, and fires to Malachi Dupree, who reaches back to make the catch, and he's able to get across the goal line for the 23-yard score, and the Saints are able to answer immediately and cut the Atlanta lead right back to 3. Second play of the ensuing drive, and the chains are moving as Ito Smith takes it right up the middle for 11 yards. Next play, and it's 11 yards again, but through the air this time as Ryan connects with tight end Austin Hooper for another 1st down. 5 plays later, 3rd and 4, and Ryan stands in before going short to Ito Smith, who moves the chains again as the clock continues to roll. Then facing another 3rd and 4, Ryan throwing again and wants Mohamed Sanu, who can't hang on to what would have been a back-breaking catch. Falcons send out Roland Ford, and for the 3rd time today, his kick is up and good, and with 4:59 to go, the Falcons take a 6-point lead. Saints need a touchdown for the lead, and on their second play, Brissett hits Michael Thomas on the crosser, who picks up 7, setting up 3rd and 2, where Brissett fires quick out to Thomas again, but Desmond Trufant with the stick and buries him for a 1-yard loss, and with 3 timeouts, the Saints choose to punt it away. Falcons then facing 3rd and 2 out of the 2-minute warning, where Ryan finds Austin Hooper for a huge 1st down and 15-yard gain, but Hooper remains down, and the injury saves New Orleans a crucial timeout. And 3 plays later, 3rd and 6, and Matt Ryan drifts to his left before David Onyemata drops him for the sack. So New Orleans with a chance to win now, and on their second play, Brissett looks to throw, fires, and it's intercepted by Lorenzo McManus, and the first-round rookie comes up with his first career interception to pull the plug on any chance at a Saints victory, and the Falcons are able to make it 2 in a row as they pick up their first division win of the year and push their record to 4-5. Matt Ryan goes over 300 yards and throws no interceptions for the 2nd straight game, and will look to do the same next week as the Falcons host the Vikings, looking to get back to 500. All right, so we finally end up winning a close game at the hands of a Lorenzo McManus interception, which was probably the last thing both you and I were expecting. When he first made the pick, I thought it was Deion Jones, but a nice way to end it there with our 1st-round pick coming up with the big play. But really glad to not have blown that or let that one slip away as we pick up our first division win of the year and move to 4-5 now on the season. However, the win didn't come without a cost, as Austin Hooper, who was injured in the final minutes of the game, ended up suffering broken ribs and is going to be out for 6 weeks, so another tough blow as we're already without Devontae Freeman and are now down 2 of my top 3 weapons. We're not going to put him on IR, but there will be a roster move made to add another tight end, and that comes in the form of signing Alex Gray from the practice squad. He was on the team in preseason and will now serve as the 3rd tight end behind Austin Traylor and Jeremy Novak, and he's going to be taking the spot of cornerback Jeffrey Lowry, who I moved from the active roster to the practice squad, and basically these 2 guys are just swapping spots for the foreseeable future. Moving along, we had a draft tweet this week from Todd McShay about Ellis Perryman, who is a linebacker from Texas that I've already scouted, and that reads, Ellis Perryman has basically taken away opponents' run games this season. Lots of NFL teams want him. So looking at the draft board additions this week, it's a pair of cornerbacks in Jerome Todd out of Indiana and Thurman Kendrick out of West Virginia. Both players are 2nd-round projections as well as 2nd-round true talents. Moving on to negotiations, I decided to completely withdraw negotiations with Tack McKinley. I tabled negotiations with him earlier in the year, and this is something that I've been contemplating for a few weeks now, and while it does suck to let one of my better defensive players go, I feel like it has to be done to help my cap moving forward. And that's also why I've terminated negotiations with Duke Riley as well. This one is a bit easier because he doesn't play as much, but he's still young and just had his dev get upgraded earlier this year, so again, it sucks to let him walk, but it's time to reload with some new defensive talent. Then lastly, lastly, for the team side of things is player upgrades, starting here with Austin Hooper, who goes down with an injury but has 7 attributes go up, with awareness and impact block going up 2, break tackle, catch traffic, catching, and lead block all go up 1, and then pass block power goes up 3. Next up was Duke Riley, who we just ended negotiations with, and he goes up 3 points on his zone coverage rating. Following him is our rookie safety Donovan Culver, who reaches a 68 overall with +2 upgrades to both his awareness and tackle, as well as a 1-point increase to his man coverage. Then we have another DB in Jordan Miller, who also reaches a 68 overall with +3 increases to his awareness and tackle, along with a 1-point bump to his zone coverage rating. Running back Brian Hill goes from a 66 to a 67 overall as he receives 1-point increases to his acceleration, elusiveness, speed, and spin move. And then wrapping up the player upgrades is rookie defensive end Charles Piercy, who goes up 1 point on both acceleration and play rec, and then also goes up 3 points on tackle. Time to go around the league, starting with some Week 10 scores, where on Thursday night, the Ravens obliterate the Steelers 49-10. Texans beat the Dolphins, Eagles beat the Bears, and the Bucks beat the Panthers. Packers beat the Vikings at Lambeau. Cardinals, 49ers, Rams, Chargers, and Titans all pick up road victories. Bengals win 28-21 over the Cowboys, and on Sunday night, the Patriots win 31-28 against the Browns. And then wrapping up the week was a 14-14 tie between the Chiefs and Jets on Monday night. So looking at the standings, the Jets tie but still hold a comfortable lead in the East. Bengals are now 9-0 with a 4-game lead over the Ravens and Browns. In the South, the Titans are 6-3 with a 1-game lead over the Texans and Jags. Then in the West, the Chiefs tie is the difference between them and the 5-4 Chargers. In the NFC, the Cowboys are 6-3 with a 1-game lead over the Redskins. Bears are 7-2 and lead the North ahead of the 5-3-1 Packers. The Bucks lead our division at 7-2 and currently sit 3 games ahead of us. Then out West, the 8-1 49ers hold a comfortable 3-game lead over the Seahawks. The AFC Player of the Week on offense is Ravens running back Mark Ingram. The 2011 first-rounder out of Alabama rushed for 220 yards on 19 carries and found the end zone 3 times on the ground. Ingram also threw in a 34-yard reception as the Ravens pummeled the Steelers 49-10 on Thursday night. As for the NFC, it was 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo winning Offensive Player of the Week. Jimmy G was 24 of 36 passing for 303 yards and 3 touchdowns as his 49ers went into Buffalo and took down the Bills 27-24 in Week 10. The AFC Defensive Player of the Week also came from the AFC North in William Jackson of the undefeated Bengals. Jackson tallied 5 tackles, knocked away 1 pass while intercepting 2 others as Cincinnati came away with a 28-21 win against the Cowboys. Then for the NFC, a common occurrence as we once again provide the Player of the Week in Cameron Jordan of the Saints. The 2011 24th overall pick had 5 tackles but took down Matt Ryan 4 times for sacks and came up short, losing 23-17 in Atlanta. On to the leaders, and starting with the passers, our own Matt Ryan takes over the pass yards lead with 2,604 yards passing, and then Baker Mayfield's 28 passing touchdowns and 126.6 passer rating are both good for tops in the league. Todd Gurley becomes the first and only back to crack the 1,000-yard mark and leads the league in both rushing yards and yards per carry, and even with having the week off, Giants running back Saquon Barkley still leads the league with 10 rushing scores. The receiving leaders start with Bears wideout Taylor Gabriel, who leads in receptions with 55. Our own Julio Jones continues to lead in yards with 884, and then tied among others with 8 receiving touchdowns is the 49ers' Marquise Goodwin. And then wrapping up with the defensive leaders, our own Deion Jones cracks 100 tackles and leads the league with 102. Von Miller's 13.5 sacks are still tops in the league, as are Marshawn Lattimore's 4 interceptions as he continues to hold a tie of the lead there. Looking forward to next week, the Ravens are once again on Thursday night, this time against the 5-4 Jaguars. Huge AFC West game between the Chargers and Chiefs. Colts head to Pittsburgh, Jets host the Cardinals, and we host the Vikings. Raiders at Patriots, Panthers at Saints, and Bucks at Packers. Rams head to Buffalo while Cincinnati looks to stay undefeated in Tennessee. Texans face the Broncos in Denver while the Seahawks host the Giants. Lions head to Chicago to face the Bears, and the 8-1 49ers face the 0-9 Dolphins. Then on Sunday night, the Eagles head to Cleveland to play the Browns, and wrapping up Week 11 is a big NFC East game as the first place Cowboys host the Redskins on Monday night. And that's going to do it for Week 10 as we win a close game against the division rival and make it 2 wins in a row now. Next video, we'll be hosting the Vikings, who beat us on opening day last season, as we look to make it 3 in a row and get back